Hi everyone, it's Bibi Cameron here, and today I have on my table the latest release by Neat and Tangled. This release includes 4 stamp sets with beautiful and cute images. It also includes this stamp set here called Gift Box Christmas Sentiments that coordinates with this die here that has been designed to create a triangular mini box and is super easy to use and to put that box together. Another die in this release is this one here, designed to create a super cute treat holder. In this release, you will also get a cover die plate and a stencil. So those are all the products in this release, and I wanted to try them all. So I stamped the images using Memento black ink, and I colored them with Copics to put together these super simple cards. And I also want to share with you ideas to use mirror cardstock and glitter paper more often in your paper craft projects. You can hit emboss sentiments on mirror cardstock and they look really sharp and nice, like in this card here. And you can also use stencils to emboss the paper as I did in the little green box there. You can see there the difference between the traditional cardstock and mirror cardstock. So I think mirror cardstock is the cardstock for the season. So I'm going to start showing you how easy it is to put these 3 holders together. You can use them to decorate a money envelope, a card, a tag. The sky is the limit, and you can even put a crafty tool in their hands to send a super special Christmas message to a crafty friend. All you have to do is to die cut the cardstock in different colors. You can also use white cardstock or watercolor paper to add washes of colors to the die cuts. And you will find 2 main dies or 2 large dies in the die set and 5 small dies, one to pierce the eyes of the penguin like I'm doing here. You also will find the legs, the nose, and a little bow. So I like to add distress inks over the cheeks of these cute penguins, just to add a hint of color there. And from here, all I have to do is to glue the pieces together, embellish, and add them to a project. Now I'm going to show you how easy you can put together some cards using all the images in this release. So I just fold a piece of paper to create a C6 card base, and then I create a mask using a circle die. This could be done in any size. And I grab a piece of cardstock and I just stir the paper like so to create another mask. And I'm going to start adding ink using a sponge. You can use any blending tool you have to do this. And I start applying the ink I'm not worrying too much about how this is going to look. You can be a little bit messy with this ink. It doesn't really matter. So I just choose 3 colors of ink or 4 ink colors, and I just apply the ink around the edges of that circle mask like so. And when the sponge has very little ink on it, I just pass it over the center of that area. You can leave this like that, or you can step this a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to use a Nuvo Aquaflow pen to create some splatters of ink there. And once this is done, I use the heat tool to dry the ink. And I also like to splatter the paper with a Nuvo shimmer pen, so that I get that shimmer and also those dark speckles there, just like an extra decorative element. So I do this in many different ways, and you would be surprised how many shapes you get from these, or how easy it is to create a background like that. It's not the first time I do this. I do this very often. I have another videos here in my channel also showing very easy masking techniques with a piece of paper like this, so that you can create that kind of landscape there. Honestly, every time you do this, you will have different results. Then I splatter the paper with a dark ink, I dry the paper, and I splatter the paper with a Nuvo shimmer pen. You can also experiment with different ink combinations. You know that distress oxide ink or distress ink in general, they blend nicely, even if you put together the most crazy color combos. So that's not going to be a problem. And another thing is that if you don't want to use any shimmer pen or anything, you can also spray water on these little backgrounds, and then you can lift that ink, creating also a texture there. Another thing you can use is a Nuvo Midas Touch pen, and with this one you will add a golden shimmer to the background. So for the images, I just grab all the stamps, I put them in my stamping platform, and I use Memento black ink to stamp this, just because I'm going to use Copic markers to add colors. To get very crisp images, I stamp 2 or 3 times. I'm not going to show you that because I want to be very quick in this video. And I added colors to the images out of camera. All I have to do here is to lay my images in any way I found convenient for me. And because these stamps are so clever, it will be very easy to put these images together to create a little scene. You can stamp extra images on those backgrounds, die cut them, stamp a sentiment directly on that background, or also add a die cut sentiment. You can also add sequins, Nuvo drops, crystal glaze, or any other accent to these panels. And for this card, I also heat emboss a piece of red mirror cardstock with white embossing powder, and I got that nice and sharp sentiment as well. I'm loving stamping on mirror cardstock. It gives you a very cool look. Make sure to visit my blog next week because I'm going to be sharing super simple cards using mirror cardstock and embossing powder. I'm going to try my best to share a video as well to show you how that looks in real life, but if I can, visit my blog for ideas and inspiration. So I'm going to play some music here. I'm going to finish putting together these cards, and I hope you like them. Last but not least, I'm going to be using the Triangle Box Die Set by Neat and Tangled, which is a set with 8 dies, and there is a main die to die cut the whole box, and the other dies are accessories. You can also use those dies to create another projects. I'm going to keep it very simple, and I'm going to die cut a piece of mirror cardstock. You have to excuse me because this cardstock reflects the roof and everything, but it's just so beautiful that I have to use it and encourage you to create more projects using mirror cardstock. So I'm going to use the stencil to emboss this paper, and I'm using there an embossing mat, and I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine so that you get that beautiful subtle embossed pattern on the paper. And all I have to do here is to fold the paper over those scoring lines that the dies creates, and I found 2 different ways to assemble the box. One is going to allow me to close the box like this, and the other one is going to allow you to create the flap at the top of the box. But if you have this die, you can start playing with it to see in how many other ways you can put the box together. So from here, you can embellish these boxes in any way you want. You can also die cut the box to have a window on the box so you can see what is inside the box, and that will be super beautiful. And there is a stamp set in this release that I could not use today, and it's this one here, and it's just because I wanted to add also an image on the box, so I missed the chance to use it today, but it's very versatile. You can also use it with the gift card box die from a previous release. It coordinates perfectly with that one. You can also use it on tags or cards. And before I forget, you can also use the little triangle boxes as ornaments for your Christmas tree. So you can easily add also twine to this, and you will be done. So, well, the sky is the limit, and that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel or visit the blog for ideas and inspiration. The links to the blog are in the video description, together with additional links and supply list. Thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting. Bye!